Hello. All right, so today we're going to talk about comparing fractions using models, okay? So, comparing fractions using models, we use the symbols, right? These are alligator symbols, but we use the math symbols that represent this, just like we do when we are comparing numbers, right? And when we compare them, we're trying to determine which fraction is greater, which is more, or less than, that is smaller, right? So let's give this a try. So let's look at the models. And we want to compare these fractions. So we have 1/4 shown here, and we have 3/4 shown here. Okay, so when I'm looking at this, I notice that, okay, if we're going to call it pizza or pie, right, both of the pies are split into fourths. The denominators are the same. And this one, there's one shaded in, and this one, there's three shaded in, right? So if you were to say to yourself, okay, which one is more, right? Obviously, 3/4 is more, 1/4 is less. So what would that look like with the symbol? Okay, there we go, right? So we would read this 1/4 is less than 3/4. Okay, let's try another one. Okay, so if we compare these fractions, we have 3/6 and 5/6. So I notice both have the same denominator, right? They're both cut into equal amount of pieces. This one has 3 colored in, this one has 5 colored in. So when I'm analyzing it, I'm visually seeing that, okay, this one is less. 3/6 is less than 5/6, right? Or we could say 5/6 is greater than 3/6. So if it's written like this and we had to put the math symbol in, what do you think it would look like? Which way do you think it would go? Maybe jot that down quickly, and then let's check and see how you did, okay? So 3/6 is less than 5/6, which is saying 5/6 is greater. All right, let's look at these. So we have 4/5 and we have 1/5. And clearly we can see that, again, the denominators are the same, right? So the total amount of pieces in each pie are the same. This one has 4 colored in, this one has 1 colored in, right? So at this point we can clearly see that 4/5 is greater than 1/5, right? 1/5 is less than 4/5. So let's think about which way would we put the symbol. All right, so, have a little choice in your head, and let's see if you are right. Okay, so this would read, because see how the alligator's mouth is going towards the bigger one, right, the larger one? So 4/5 is greater than 1/5, because you want to always think that the alligator is always hungry. So his mouth is always going to be open to the larger one, okay? All right, so here we go. Let's compare these fractions. We have 2/6 and 5/6. All right, and so again, the denominators are the same. So this one's 2 is colored in, this one's 5 is colored in. So what do we see about this? Clearly from the visual model, right, that 2/6 is less than 5/6. 5/6 is greater than 2/6. So think about which way you would put the math symbol. Which way is the alligator mouth going to be open? Okay, and it would look like this. And so we read this just like we would a sentence. We, read it in this direction. So here we would say 2/6 is less than 5/6. All right, the next one, we have 2/8 and 5/8. So again, the denominators are the same, right? And if we've been noticing anything, when the denominators are the same, we can look at the numerator, right? And we know that, okay, if the total number of pieces in this pie is the same as the total number of pieces in this pie, the pieces are the same size, right? They're broken up into the same size. So really we have to look at the numerator to see which one is larger, right? 5 is larger than 2, and since these are the equal sizes, we can clearly see that 5 is greater than 2, and so 5/8 is larger than 2/8, right? And 2/8 is smaller than 5/8. So think about which way you would put the math symbol in the alligator mouth. Which way would the opening go? All All right, and this reads again like a sentence. So 2/8 is less than 5/8. All right, here we go. Again, same denominator at the bottom. So the pieces are the same size. So here we have 2/3 and we have 1/3, right? And so we can visually see that 2/3 is larger, right, is greater than, and we can see that 1/3 is less than. So again, now think about which way would you put the symbol, right? It wants to go, the alligator opening mouth wants to go towards the larger fraction. Okay, so we have 2/3 is greater than 1/3. All right, over here we have 1/4 and 1/10. So up until now, our denominators have been the same. Okay, but if you notice, okay, this pie and this pie, it's the same size, but the pieces, right, are broken up differently. Here, if we're only sharing with 4 people, here we're sharing with 10 people. The pieces got smaller, right? So we can't just look at the say, oh, okay, let's look at the numerator and see which number is bigger, because our denominators are not the same. The way they were cut are not equal, so it's, not easy to judge like that. So if we're looking here, 1/4 or 1/10, which one is colored in more, right? 1/4 is larger than 1/10. So think about which way you would put the alligator mouth. And there we go. 1/4 is greater than 1/10. All right, and here's another example of when the denominators are not the same. Okay, this one is split up into thirds. This one is split up into fifths. So just notice what happens. Even though the size of the pizza or the pie or the puzzle is the same size, the pieces are cut differently, right? This is for 3 people, thirds. This one had to be cut into fifths. So notice that the pieces got smaller, right? The more people we had to share with. So 1/3 and 1/5. Which one is greater? Right? So we can see by the picture that 1/3 is greater than 1/5. So think about what that would look like with the symbol. And there we go. 1/3 is greater than 1/5. Okay. All right, so now it's your turn, all right, to try a few on your own. So use the symbols, okay, less than or greater than. You might want to write it out on paper. You don't have to draw the whole picture, but you can look at the pictures as the visual. And so we have 1/3, 1/10. Okay, so you might want to write just 1/3, 1/10, and then write your symbol in there as you're looking at the picture. Okay, here we have 1/4 and 4/5. So again, you might just, for time's sake, just want to write the 1/4 and the 4/5 because you can visually see them here. You don't necessarily have to draw them, right? And here we have 2/5. Oh, sorry. Okay. Oh, no answers. And where'd it go? All right. Sorry about that. So here we have 2/5 and 3/4, which is covered right now, and 2/3 and 2/5. So you might want to pause this here at this point, and try them out and see how you do. And then when you come back, we will have the answers for you. All right, welcome back. So check your work. 1/3 is greater than 1/10, and you can visually see that. Here, 1/4 is less than 4/5. Okay, and all of these didn't have the same denominator, so the visuals were good. Here, 2/5 and 3/4, right? So 2/5 is less than 3/4. And on the last one, 2/3 is greater than 2/5. Okay? All right, guys, thanks for joining, and keep on practicing. Don't give up. You will get this, and I hope to see you again soon.